Hello, everybody. Welcome to B-Dubs DM21. I'm B-Dubs, Bicycle Horse. It's good to see you all today. Guys, I keep seeing everyone talking about leveling in Lost Ark. And the way they talk about leveling is basically levels is everything. You gotta get to level 50 as soon as possible to get to that tasty in-game content. But I have an alternate proposal for you. Look, I want you to play the game whichever way you want, whatever way allows you to have the most fun. But there is something that a lot of folk aren't talking about, and that is the account level or the mission level of your expedition. What is an expedition? Well, in Lost Ark, you actually share a lot of your progress across all of your characters, every single one of them that you actually create. Up to 24 if you were to unlock all of your character slots, which, would be fun, I suppose. But here's the thing. Your account level is actually incredibly important in terms of min-maxing and getting the most bang for your buck power you can get for your characters, as well as other really cool cosmetic bonuses such as different backgrounds and even opportunities of collecting crystals, which is, as last I checked, really good stuff. So as you can see, we're playing on the closed beta. I have two characters. I have Fisty Cuffs and Fisty McFury on Kadan. Now, that being said, we have been playing these two different characters. I'm trying to figure out which I prefer, Scrapper or Striker, but Scrapper's winning. Just a heads up, I really love the Scrapper. But that doesn't matter right now. Right now, what does matter is, let's take a look at what the account level does for us and why it matters and how we raise it. So let's go ahead and pop into Fisty McFury. Let's take a look at it. Now we're on Fisty McFury. You can actually open up your handy dandy mission or account level window by pressing O. Nice little shortcut there. And this window here, as you can clearly see, I have gained 13 account levels so far in my closed beta playthrough, and you can also tell that my highest level character, like 22, and this character right now is level 17, and have an account level of 13 means I have done a little bit of searching and exploring. We'll get into how we raise that up here in a minute, but this is the juicy bit. This is the important bit. This is the bit, is the reason why I really want to more or less tell you all, maybe instead of focusing on character level so much, maybe you might want to take a look at your account level as well. That being said, as you can see here, we're getting bonuses from our mission bonus effects. Strength, for example, is what this character gets. That is my primary damage stat, strength. You might also get intelligence or dexterity, depending on what class you play. Now, as you level up, you get bonuses that go across all of your characters. Yeah, all of your characters. These bonuses are your primary damage stat and your vitality. Now, with my account at level 13, as well as other missions that I've completed that give me permanent status effects across all of my characters, I now have a total bonus of 45 strength and 30 vitality. Now, as you can tell, we can go all the way up to level 100. So these bonus stats carrying across all of your characters really start to add up. And here's the other crazy thing. There are certain side quests in the game that also give you permanent stat increases. This will also be reflected in your account level. It'll actually show up here as a mission bonus effect or a mission bonus reward. You also get mission bonus virtues. Now, these are virtues that you gain by completing quests. Certain choices that you make in the game will impact this. And naturally, by completing things like your Adventurer's Handbook, you will get permanent increases to your virtues. Virtues are very important when it comes to building up rapport or relationships with NPCs. Certain NPCs will not even engage with you to allowing you to gain rapport unless your virtues are at a certain amount. We could take a look at our current virtues total by taking a look at skins and virtues, and you can actually see here, let me just move this right on up over here so you can see it. You could actually see here We have very little. I mean, naturally, we're kind of lower level right now. We're in closed beta. We're experimenting. We're leveling. We're doing things. We're having fun, right? We're not exactly at the point where we're trying to power level rapport, but you can see that I actually have 68 wisdom, 30 courage, 51 charisma, 9 kindness. Apparently, I'm not a very kind person. However, if you take a look here, you can see that I have 10 permanent wisdom from potions. These potions you get by doing side quests or Adventurer's Handbook. You can see also that I have 20 bonus charisma. Again, permanent increases from potions. Get these again, side quests, Adventurer's Handbook. It's really cool. On top of that, you'll also gain some virtues based off of your cosmetic items, what cosmetic items you have equipped. So, for example, my pants here give me 10 courage and 10 charisma. I have 10 wisdom and 10 charisma from the chest piece, and I have 10 wisdom and 5 charisma from the hat. Really cool stuff. So, your cosmetic items also do give you virtues, which is, well, really helpful. They also give you base strength. So, skins actually do help you out with some of your damaging abilities as well. So do keep that in mind. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about your account level. So seeing that account level is so terribly important to the overall vitality and damage of your character, it seems to me that this is something we're going to want to level. This is something we're going to want to do. The problem is that the general advice that's being offered to players is get to level 50 as soon as you can so you can do your opponent missions and you can start doing your end-game grind. You can start doing this, and the longer it takes for you to get there, that's a number of days that you don't have access to doing your daily lockouts and things like that, because everything's kind of time-gated a little bit, as it should be, I mean, quite frankly. So that being said, why should we stress account level on our first playthrough? Well, here's why. So that time gating is on a per character basis, meaning that if you have multiple characters leveled up to 50 plus, you can then do those tier 1 raids and all your chaos dungeons, etc., 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 as many times as you can per character per day. And you can then transfer those resources from your alternate character to your main character, which would then enable you to gain gear score faster. Good stuff, right? Right. So we're already going to have to level up multiple characters to even to begin to really start taking advantage of that. But then on top of that, when we pull up our Adventurer's Handbook, you can see that there are these bonuses that you get just by completing area content throughout the game. So, for example, by getting 60% completed, I got a permanent stat increase potion that will automatically give my characters an additional 5 strength, dexterity, or intelligence. That's a permanent stat increase across all of my characters. We also get that charisma potion, that permanent virtue increase, plus 10 charisma across all of my characters. Very good stuff. And not only that, but by completing our Adventurer's Tome, we get a significant amount of expedition or mission experience points, which levels up our account. Very, very important thing to bear in mind. So as we're going through the world and we're getting our collectibles and we're collecting our Makoko roots and we're doing our named enemies and our extra side quests and finding hidden stories littered across the world, we're actually leveling up and increasing the power of all of the characters on our account. And when you get to those in-game raid tiers, any extra bonus stat that gives you extra health or extra strength, dexterity, intelligence, etc., is going to be very, very helpful in improving your performance and destroying and beating that boss or finishing that chaos dungeon or doing that raid tier at whatever you want to do. It's very important. So why does this get so often neglected? And I can't find a good answer to that question. Like I'm actually kind of confused as to why that is. Why is it that we just simply aren't taking advantage of the account level in terms of the advice that we give other players? I don't know. That being said, let's talk about the different ways you can complete your Adventurer's Handbook that will then in turn increase your account level. First thing is your collectibles. These are items that you find just by killing monsters and going through the game in the region. The more monsters you kill, the more dungeons you complete, the more things you do, these have a chance to drop. They drop from side quests as well, and some of the more rare collectibles, such as the Bloody Rod, have a higher chance of dropping off of the final bosses, for example, in the dungeon. A really good chance of finding those there. As you find these, all of this progress carries across all of your different characters. So I can run through Rithramus, for example, on my main, then go through it on an alt, then go through it on another alt. And all those collectibles, they all stack together. This is all shared progress. Once you're done, you're done. Even if you create a new character, you never have to collect these ever again. So that's a really, really handy, helpful thing. That's how you get those. The next thing you get are, for example, cooking recipes like the Regria flour oil or the Dawn Tree sprout cider or the Regria wheat bread, right? Well, some of these items can be found in the world, and you just pick them up and you consume them, and then you get the credit. Other items, such as the wheat bread, require you to find an ingredient, and then you take it to a cook and you exchange the ingredient along with some silver. It's actually quite pricey, but along with some silver, and then you get the final item, which you can then turn in. Another neat item, which is really fun, is every now and then you're going to find items like this, the 499-year-old Marrow Wine. This is found in the Agrios Head dungeon, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, this wine is marked as a 499-year-old Marrow Wine. But my Adventurer Handbook says that it's supposed to be a 500-year-old Marrow Wine. Well, what's going on here? Well, when you find this item, okay, in the dungeon, it drops as a 499-year-old Marrow Wine. As you can see, it has a clock icon at the bottom left of the icon there. And what this is telling us is that it will actually turn into a 500-year-old Marrow Wine after 2 hours of picking it up. So we wait the 2 hours, play the game, have some fun. It turns into a 500-year-old Marrow Wine, and then we use it, and that completes our part of the Adventurer's Handbook. Really cool and handy. The next thing you have to do is kill different monsters. These are named monsters. These are typically more like the alphas. Now, these things are not the ones that shine yellow. They don't have a boss icon that appears on the map. Those are, wild spawned elite monsters that have different abilities depending on the icon over their head, etc. Right? We're not talking about those. We're talking about a monster that has a different name. They're a bit hardier, they have a bit more health, and they have a shimmering gold mask icon, it's smaller than the other ones, above their heads. Now, they don't have any special abilities or anything, they just have a bit more health, and they have a different name. Now, every single region has a couple of these elite monsters, or named monsters, for you to go down and hunt. So, once you hunt them, you get that nice, beautiful, shiny gold check mark. Very cool. The next way you are able to complete your Adventurer's Handbook is by doing different side quests. Now, each region has about 2 of these, and these will increase your completion, right? But basically, these are certain side quests that you need to accomplish and do. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you guys to do something that I know everybody and their mother has told you not to do. But I'm going to tell you to do it anyways. Do every side quest in the game. Here is the reason why. Side quests also give you Expedition XP, or account level experience points, okay? That will help you raise your account level tremendously. If you don't do the side quests, you don't get that XP, which means you don't get those permanent stat increases across all of your characters. Yeah, we need to do them. But on top of that, some of these side quests actually give you permanent stat increases just for doing them. Now, you can only do them once per account, so if you do them again on another character, you're not going to get that permanent stat increase again. You can only get it once, but all that's shared across all of your characters, so it's nice. Okay? But the thing is that those side quests give you a lot of expedition XP, and on top of that, if you do all the side quests, you know you're always going to finish these and other stories, which is a big part of completing your continent for the Adventurer's Handbook. So this is really good stuff. You want to get these things. These things are really nice. And by completing these, by the way, you also get an account-wide courage bonus. For example, doing Tragedy Written in Stone gives you a +2 to your courage virtue. And then getting Song for a Hero, that gives you a charisma +2. It's really nice. So these things help you then build up rapport with NPCs, which then help you get unique and rare items, which also help you complete the Adventurer's Handbook, but also increase your permanent stats as you complete and level up your account level. Really dope. The next thing are hidden stories. Hidden stories can be pretty difficult to find, but they're basically little journals, the little notes that you find around the world. Some of them come in a series. So some notes, all you gotta do is pick them up once and you're done. Other notes are a series, and the thing about these notes that are a series, for example, a knight in shining armor, this is a series. You have to gather them, 1, in order, 2, within a certain period of time, and it differs from story to story, okay? And then you have to pick them all up in a series, pretty much one after another after another. These can be very difficult to track down. They're not exactly the easiest things in the world to kind of find. We're going to talk about guides and a map that you can have that will help you find these things. But in short, you need to make sure you pick them up in order, and you need to make sure you pick them up in time. If you do that, then you're good to go. You can find them all and you can actually unlock it. Another one that's like that is Sunflowers for My Love. I haven't done it yet on this account. I have played on Russian servers, so yeah, I do have a little bit of experience with this. But that is another one that we can do. The next thing is that naturally, as you unlock all the different triports in a region, this will also complete your region for you. And then your vistas or your viewpoints. These viewpoints also help complete your region. This is pretty simple. All you gotta do is go to the various viewpoints in the region, and that completes that check mark for you. That helps you get that that region completion done. The next thing are the dungeons. Naturally, you don't get credit just for completing the dungeon once. You get credit for completing the dungeon on normal and on hard. Okay, you actually get completion credit for doing it on both difficulties. So if you're like me and the first time you run through you just want to play on hard, that's great. That's a good idea. You get some really good gear. It's a lot more fun. I like having fun when I play my games. It's not all about being fast. I like having fun. I like playing with my friends too, so I tend to group up with my friends when I run a dungeon, and I usually run on hard. It's a lot more fun for me that way. I get better gear on my main. It helps me increase my clear times and things like that when I'm leveling and doing things throughout the world. It's just fun for me to do that. Is it important? No. If you want to play normal, that's fine. But the second time you play through, and you're playing on an alt, if you cleared it on hard the first time, might I recommend clearing it on normal for your second playthrough, so that way you're not spending extra time, but you're also getting the completion credit in your Adventurer's Handbook. This also further increases your percentage gained. And then finally, the last thing you need to do in order to complete it is to defeat the world boss. In the case of Rithramus, we're talking about Rudrick. Rudrick here likes to hang out in the graveyard cemetery. That's right next to the Regria Monastery. And he's fun, but take some friends with you. Soloing these guys is a bit of a pain in the butt. Trust me, I had to do that a couple times on the Russian service. It sucked. I did not like it. It was not fun for me. Now, I recommend actually killing the world bosses at least once per character. Why? Because it drops really good loot for your character at the time, and it's also just fun in general. So, you know, definitely do defeat the world bosses, get those loot drops, have some fun, hang out with your friends, and just have a good time. I understand that, again, I'm not criticizing any way people want to play, but I understand that a lot of folk feel like they have to get to end game. Let me tell you guys something. World of Warcraft taught everybody a lot of bad habits. And it taught a lot of people a lot of bad things about games. Yeah, getting to the end game is fun. There is a lot of content at the end game. But there's also a lot of really fun content in Lost Ark at the beginning, mid, and end game. And if you're playing through for the first time and you've never played on another played through another release, say for the Russian release or the Korean release, then I would just recommend you take your time, get your collectibles, and have a blast doing it. Finally, something I want to bring to your attention. Let's talk about a map that will help you find these things. Now, the map that I have been using currently is called Lost Ark ES. And you can see that here. This is a handy little map. As you can see, like I'm looking at the Agaloth's Tail dungeon, for example. And it tells you where all your Makoko routes are, where your named monsters are, etc. For example, if you go to the Aglios head, we could see here that that 500-year-old Miraju, yeah, that thing right there, it tells you where it is. It also tells you where there's hidden walk behind the wall areas to find these extra Makoko routes. Yeah, you can find those. The Makoko routes, every single one you collect is 180 expedition experience points, right? 180 for each one. I have about 100 of these. So you can kind of get an idea of how quickly Makoko routes will level up your account level if you actually start going around and collecting them all. It's very good. But you can see here that there's Makoko routes here. There's a cooking ingredient here. There's hidden passages. There's Makoko routes. There's Plague Swarm. Those are the named monsters I was talking about earlier. And you can see all sorts of stuff like this. Now later on, as we start playing through the game, here's the Agamos foothills, for example. You can see that there's plenty of things to find, including the viewpoint, the one viewpoint I'm missing. I need to go back and grab that. Good time to remind myself of that. But you can run through and you can find these different things very quickly if you happen to have the map open. Now, there's one problem with this map. And the problem with this map is that it uses the other region's naming conventions. So the naming is a bit different. For example, they call Rethramus Artemis on this map, just as an example. So sometimes you might hear me use certain terms that don't necessarily equate to the North American European launch. So that is something to bear in mind. Another thing to take a look at, for example, if we go to Log Hill, you'll notice that there is there's some Makoko routes that are blocked off, and we see here that we need the Minuet of the Forest. So what this means is that you need a song, the Minuet of the Forest, in order to create the condition necessary for you to gain access to the Makoko routes that are hidden in that part of Log Hill. So you will not be able to 100% collect your Makoko routes on your first run through. However, you will be able to get them over time. So don't be discouraged if you feel like you just can't seem to get all of the Makoko routes or all of the collectibles complete in one go. Finally, the last bit, the hardest bit of completing your Adventurous Handbook is rapport. You're going to need to know how to get extra gifts. You're going to need to know how to find these things that you need, your Carnelians, or I think they call them something different in the North American release, but these items that help you gain rapport by gifting them to your NPCs. You also can only interact with NPCs so many times in a day, so having, for example, your crystalline aura would be helpful in helping you gain rapport a little faster. But there are certain creatures in the world and certain spawns in the world that will actually give you gift items that you can give to other NPCs. In fact, I think I might even have a few on me. So let's take a look real quick on here. No, I guess they're timed out on me already. So there are ghosts, for example, in Log Hill, and I actually have video of this for you, that if you kill them, they give you the gift item that you can then give to an NPC. But beware, those are on a timer. You just can't pick them up and hold on to them forever in the hopes of giving them to a prospective, I guess lover is the wrong term these days. Finally, let's go ahead and take a look at what it's like to turn in your cooking ingredients. So I actually have one that's ready for turn in right now. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. Alright, so here we are in Brightholm. And we're going to just come on down here and we're going to talk to Helly, who is our cook. And as you can see, we actually have the ability to exchange our disgorged lump for a protein-packed white bird stew. Now this is going to cost us some silver, about 1,400. So this costs a little bit of silver. We're going to go ahead and request this, and once you say yes, she crafts it for you, and it's yours, and now we have the item. So then we come over here, and we right-click it, boom, and once you see a little scroll appear over here, that means that we have completed something on our Adventurer's Handbook, and as you can see, there it is, our protein-packed white bird stew. Now you'll notice that there are two other items here that we do not have access to yet. We don't have them yet. These are rewards for getting rapport with NPCs. So for example, Nira will give you the Veda's Pride Home style home food. No, that's a merchant. We buy it from Veda. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's see if we can buy it from Veda now. I bet you it's expensive. Let's see. All right, so here's Veda. Veda hangs out by the bar. Good place to hang out. She's a potion merchant. But we go walk up to her and we say we want to buy something. Well, what do you know? Veda has the item for us, and it's only going to cost us about 3,000 silver. Only 3,000 silver. Yeah, we're going to buy it. There you go. Now it's in our inventory.
Hey, have you heard?
And now we use it. Boom. Once again, scroll appears. And once again, as you can see, we have a completion here. This last one is from Sierra. This is a rapport item. It even tells you rapport in the Adventure Handbook. So it gives you an idea of how to get it, which is nice. So once we build up significant rapport with Sierra, she will gift you a holy potato with teeth marks. That's a Thrombus specialty for sure. Holy potatoes with teeth marks. It's a thing, okay, guys? It's a thing.
Have you heard? Demons have appeared on Kumo Mountain.
But that's the basics in and outs of completing your adventurer's notebooks in the pursuit of gaining big account level XP. The next big way, and I mean this very sincerely, to gain account levels in order to get the maximum bonus you can get from strength, vitality, and even later on, extra crit, specialization, domination, swiftness, endurance, expertise. You get the idea. Yeah, the best way to get it is by leveling up alts. One thing that I've done on the Russian servers was I was testing out all the different classes. I was just testing and testing and testing, trying to figure out which ones I liked. I ended up playing every single class to at least level 13, basically right after the attack on Prideholm. That's how far I took it to get an idea of the class and whether or not I liked them or wanted to continue playing with them. Well, while doing that, I had brought my account level in excess of 50. It was very fast. That first section of quests goes by so quickly and so fast that just by leveling up my characters to 13 and finishing up the attack on Prideholm, I managed to increase my expedition level or my account level significantly. Really cool, really fast way to just increase it. Just
any news?
Play the game. Pretty good. All right, guys, beyond all that, just something to consider. If you're thinking about how am I going to go about playing Lost Ark, everybody's telling me to rush levels, everybody's telling me not to do the side quests, I wanted to give you another perspective. Doing the side quests gives you permanent stat increases across all of your characters. It gives you extra virtues so you can gain rapport faster. It does all sorts of fun things for you that will increase your power over time. Will you be a little later to the end game and have a lower gear score than people who played just the main story quest to level up as fast as possible? The answer to that question is yeah, you will. But honestly, you will make up for that time very quickly with more alts at level 50, each able to do your daily turn-ins for your daily in-game tasks, chaos dungeons, etc. Right? your hunts, your raids. Being able to run it multiple times across multiple characters is very handy. That's what's really going to help you get your gear score up faster. But on top of that, being able to do research across multiple characters, etc., good stuff. That's the kind of thing that we like to see. It helps us out a lot. And then naturally, those permanent passive stat increases, it is so nice. And the thing is the higher your account level goes, the easier the playthrough will be for each character you level thereafter. So, for example, if you're like me and you're waiting on the Destroyer to make its North American appearance, I really like big hammers. And the people who hang out with me know I really do enjoy a big warhammer. It's a thing. I like it. Okay, I enjoy it. Well, once you have your account level up and the Destroyer becomes available, you know you want to make that your main. I want to make that my main, you know. I'm able to jump on right away. I have those stat increases. I have my alts ready to support my new main. And then I'm going to be just banging through that content super fast. So depending on your interests and what you're working on and what you're doing, there are a lot of options for you in terms of how you want to progress. Don't feel pressured to get to 50 as soon as possible. That's one thing you can do, and there are benefits to it. But honestly, at the end of the day, play the game the way that you have fun. If you're an explorer like me, someone who loves playing alts, somebody who likes raising your account level, consider it. It might work out better for you. In the end, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Again, my name's B-Dubs. This is B-Dubs DM21, and let me know if you guys want to see more Lost Ark content. Until next time, guys, stay safe out there. Keep the faith. And game on. You have a good one.